Morning, everybody. 8:10 a.m., December 11th. Yesterday, we had a little bit of a continued sell off, but since the volume's been low and the volatility's been low, it really wasn't that big of a sell off. Um, really, only slightly under the previous day's close by the close in futures. So, really wasn't, it bounced pretty good. Remember, we're seasonally in a bullish month. We needed some type of correction, and we're getting it. So remember, corporate buybacks are on. There's a lot of seasonally bullish stuff. There's like end of the year stuff for portfolio managers. That tends to why December into January tend to be bullish, especially with an election year. So we'll see. We'll see if we get any continued stuff today. Today we have CPI data coming at 8:30. They're expecting it to go up zero point 0.1 on the headline number. All right, expecting the core to stay the same. That comes at 8:30. So, what else? Yesterday, what was interesting in the markets were tech was strong off the open and ripped higher, and then it all fell apart. Particular semiconductors, Nvidia actually broke its gamma flip point for the month, which I believe was at what right. Well, yesterday it was 137 and went all the way down to 134. Okay, and the QQQ lost its gamma flip point at 521. Now it's right above it. Now I don't know if that's the gamma flip point for today. I have to run my app to see the gamma exposure levels, but that's kind of what's going on now. Now the market's kind of lollygagging because CPI is coming out. Okay, now let's get into this. All right. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile to find structure in the markets along with gamma exposure levels, supply and demand, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the preceding day. That's my edge. It's the way I choose to look at the markets, and it's just very easy on my eyes to see what's going on, to see structure, right? And hopefully, you guys can join me. All right, every day, try to do this around 8:10 a.m. Subscribe, set an alert. We got to go for 300 now. We're over 200. We're at 205. Making this army strong. Hopefully, I can impart some of this TA on somebody and see how my levels all always get reactions. Right, that's the main thing. My levels get reactions. All right, and every morning, have a cup of tea, coffee. Join me. I'll give you the breakdown of what happened yesterday, what's going on this morning, news, economic calendar, daily charts, and of course, long trade short scenarios when I analyze the Nasdaq and the ES futures. Okay, then hopefully you can smash that like button, right? If you like what you're seeing. Yesterday I wasn't able to do the next video. I still owe you guys two videos. I did put one on Monday, and check it out. All right, that's on my X account at Gonzo719. Also my YouTube Shorts, and you can find me on TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. Okay, Gonzo719 Trader. Let's get right into the futures watch list here. See what's moving this morning. Of course, this will probably move once data comes out. Let's look at it though. Bitcoin went all the way down to like 94, I believe, yesterday. And now it's flirting with 100K again. All right. So it's up 2% today. Ether's up 1.86. Crude is getting some love today, up 1.14. The VIX is up 0.85, a little hedging before CPI. Dollar is up. I saw China is letting their yuan fall. It's pushing the dollar up. So interesting there. 10-year yield is rising a little bit. Gold's up 0.32. Russell, this Russell and Nasdaq are switching back and forth. Russell's up 0.23. Nasdaq's up 0.22. ES up 0.10. Dow down 1.07. 30-year bonds being sold. Silver is down 0.48. So let's move on to the Mag 7 Plus here. Mag 7 Plus, Coinbase is up 2.65 with Bitcoin moving up. With this pullback in coin yesterday, got long in an option spread. Of course, not financial advice. I got long yesterday. Actually hit the monthly flip point yesterday. And the options market and Bitcoin's pullback, I just felt like it was time to put something on, some risk on there. It was a nice pullback. So we'll see how that works out. Haven't had much luck with some of those plays lately. With Google News, there's a bunch of stuff. GE, like, it's crazy. Tesla up 1.68, Boeing up 0.91, Nvidia is up 0.78. Now remember, it hit 134 yesterday. Actually, 133 something yesterday. Okay. Netflix up 0.66. So this is all from a bounce off the lows. All right. The only lagger today is Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly down 0.52. Moving on to the top sector stocks. Okay. Chevron is up 0.32 with the crude bounce. Qualcomm Semi up 0.30. And let's see here. Interesting that Exxon's down and Chevron's up. Now, Exxon also talked about a stock repurchase program. I don't know why they're down. They might have mentioned something else, I forget. But usually stock buybacks is bullish, but we'll have to see. United Healthcare down 0.56, coming down pretty sharply. Obviously, they've supposedly found the suspect for the that killing of that CEO. Uber is the laggard, down 0.71. Let's look at the swing trade list here. See who's leading the pack here. You got Roblox up 2.56, Palantir up 2.14, Hood up 1.98, Reddit up 1.90. We'll just finish out the one percenters. The Bitcoin ETF up 1.68, Mara up 1.64, Riot up 1.44, GM up 1.35, MicroStrategy up 1.21, Marvel Semi up 1.05, and For Solar up 1.03, and Micron up 1.02. So that's the leaders. Let's go to laggards. All right, Dave and Buster's, believe got a downgrade, so they're down 12.5%. Macy's reported earnings; they were not good. They're down 10.89%. OpenAI down 4.98%. Supermicrocomputers down 4.96%. Hershey down 4.91%. Kohl's down 3.9%. Walgreens Boot Alliance down 2.69%, and Bosch Health down 2.04%, and Illumina down 1.7%, 1.70, and Alcoa down 1.44. That is your laggards. Let's go to the sectors, the guts of the market. All right, now yesterday, the big times. Oh, I can't even speak. Semis got destroyed yesterday. All right, they are the leader this morning. Okay, they are the leader this morning. This might be, who knows, the dip buy here. Who knows? AMD is getting slammed. Um, so they are up 0.53, followed by energy, followed by discretionary. That's Tesla, Home Depot, Amazon. Technology up 1.17. This will all change if obviously the numbers come out with CPI. Okay, that is your sectors. There is no laggard today. No laggard. All right, now we can look at the economic calendar. Some news before we get to obviously. Um, um, let's see here. Alrighty. So today we have core inflation year over year. That is expected to be 3.3, previous 3.3. So no change there. Now, the headline inflation, CPI, expected to be coming 2.7, 0.1 above the last month. Okay. Got a 10-year note auction at 1 p.m. So that should be interesting. And we have PPI tomorrow. Now, let's see. There probably some news we could talk about here. Not there. Let's see. The juice. So I'll tell you about that. So here's China. So this is what happened. The dollar rose on reports that Chinese leaders are considering letting their currency fall as they prepare for higher tariffs under Trump. That's what's going on there. Bank of Japan officials not against a rate hike in December if proposed. Banker Bachan is said to see little cost to waiting for the next rate hike. Good morning, Chief. So interesting there, right? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So I would say UK's Prime Minister Stammer is to meet with Apple CEO Tim Cook. So that's what's going on there. Let me see if I have something else here. We could pull up some extra news here. No, I don't. All right, like I said, we will get into what's moving markets. Um, what the heck was I gonna do next? Upgrades, downgrades. Let's see those. Let's see if they're even updated here. Let's see. Let's see. Upgrades. Let's do it. Um, upgrades. We got really nothing to note there. Downgrades. There's AI's downgrade, so that's why they're down. They got downgraded from neutral to underweight. Let's see what else here. Duolingo down buy to a neutral, downgraded. Who else here? General Dynamics, Illumina. There's why Illumina's down. Buy to neutral. Lennar downgraded. Overweight to equal weight. All right, so let's look at some initiations here. So ticker O, they are on a hold. Initiated a hold. Let's see. That's about it there. Price target changes. Let's see here. All right. Target raised Visa. Target raised United Airlines. Target raised Tesla from 250 to 345. Reddit target raised. That's why that's up. What else here? AutoZone target raised. Alaska Air target raised. So some airlines getting some love. Let's see. American Airlines target raised. Now target lowered. Let's get into those. Let's see here. That's about it there. All right. Obviously, I see some in them there, some in there that are missing a little bit. We have less than 8 minutes. We're gonna get right into daily charts now. Let's do that. Very easy on my express chart to see where we did yesterday, right? So we filled this gap the day before, kind of most likely, yeah. All right, so this trend line was broke. To get that out of there. However, look where we landed. Last week's lows. No surprise there, right? So nice little healthy pullback. You're right at the 9 EMA daily. Where are we now? 603. Call it 70. 603.70 is like you're close to the mid of the range yesterday, which is normal with data coming out, right? Let's look at the live book of futures. Right, so futures, look, you didn't really hit last week's lows, but you came close. Now look what happened here. Last month's highs, right? You're right underneath it. You're getting some buying excess here. Who knows what's going to happen? Right underneath the 90 EMA daily, right? So this could just be a swing low, and then we move higher. Who knows? We could drop to the 20. I don't know. We'll have to see, right? We have to see. Let's look at the Qs. The Qs yesterday was the first day that it was relatively weak. Okay. Now look at the Qs compared to the the SPY. Look at last week's lows all the way down here. You're not even close to last week's lows. You didn't even hit the 90 EMA daily. You really just stayed in this range, right? This candle's low held the market, right? Nvidia had to do a lot with that, right? Apple yesterday went higher, right? Microsoft initially went higher as well, but then sold off. But Nvidia opened up, pushed up, and then just got slammed. So that's what happened really in tech yesterday. And Google went crazy with their new quantum computer. Okay, so let's look what we're at now. 521. Let's call it 90. 521.90. Right here. You're in the middle of the range. Right. That's like indecision, that's waiting for news, exactly what it's supposed to do. Let's look at futures. Now look at futures. What did you push off here? 9 EMA daily, last month's highs. Came right to last month's highs, got bought up. So see, you have this rise, right? Consolidation, and we're just consolidating now. There's nothing to see here. There's no bearish anything. This is a pullback. Okay? This is a pullback. Well, so we'll have to see what that news coming out in less than 5 minutes. Okay? Let's check out our triple headed monster and just see prior to this news coming out, this 10-year yield supposedly is rising right now. Right? Hit the 50, the 100 day, I mean the 200, and now let's see. Are you really gonna, to me, this might make a swing high and roll over, but I don't know. We have to see, right? This is your triple-headed monster, bond market, smart money, right? We're cutting, we're cutting, we're cutting. So I think realistically we go lower, but you never know. Now look at this dollar with the yuan manipulation from China. So the dollar's like rising here. Got resistance at 106.74 though. Let's see what you do here. Let's look at the VIX. The VIX has risen a little bit. Still not real fear. You can see here we hit a low of like 12 and we've been rising, right? We're above last week's highs. Still not much fear. 14.28. Not bad. You start getting to 16, I would like that because our volatility would come back a little more. But we have to see. We have to see. 3 minutes to news. 3 minutes to news. And let's see what I want to get to. Maybe we just go right to the market profile, the main event, and we'll look at the price action there. Give me one sec here when we go to that. Alrighty, here we go. Here's our price action right now. And I'll make it nice and big. Alright, so we got that dot, that's our price action. And I'll split it out so we can see price action better. Okay, so we're nice and big here. And you can see what we did. Let's see here. Do we have, yeah. Just real quick, we can review what we did yesterday. See, we opened here, okay, and what we did, this is the most traded price of the day before. We came right in there, hit the week-to-date VWAP, and then just like lollygagged, really lollygagged around here. Now, this is the most traded price of the month again, 60.62, about 60.63, 60.62. We lollygagged there a while, and then we broke down. Understandably, because this is a high volume node, composite high volume node. And whenever you go back to those are like magnets, and then you have to see if they find acceptance above it or below it. And once you rip down, you're just going to cause pain here that a lot of people were short and long here. And then we bounced up. Okay. And now currently we opened here in the overnight and we went down, we went up, right? So have to see, we're less than a minute away from the news, what we do. Okay. Now look at the close from the prior day. Let's see here, right here. So look at that, 60.61, and we closed yesterday at 60.52. Not much of a change. And the ranges are small, 35-point range yesterday. Like I said, that last push up at the end of the day really made no change. And the market actually wasn't that weak yesterday. It was just tech. So, all right, news popping in less than 10 seconds. Maybe we'll look at price action first, then we'll go to the actual news. Here's news. Down. Boom. Initial spike up. Where's the initial spike up? All right, we're spiking up. That doesn't mean that that's the real move, but it could be. Whoa, there's the move. There's a little, now we're coming up to a high volume node here, the most traded price of the month. If you can rip through that and hold, you're in this big supply zone too. Now let's go to the news. Let's see why this market's liking this. All right, let's look at it. All right, so headline, we'll look at the headline number first. Okay, it did go up point 0.1. It did go up point 0.1, just like they expected it though, right? Well, that is a little feather in the cap for the bulls, right? Because that's cuts, right? If inflation is rising, that's cuts, all right? Market's going to like that. Now the core, all right, core expected 3.3 came in at 3.3, but your headline went up. So that right now the market's liking. The market is liking that. And now look where we went, right? We went right to the most traded price of the month, 1663, and now we found a little resistance. This is your line in the sand today. I'm gonna make this smaller now. That is your line in the sand today. I'm telling you, man, these levels are powerful. Most traded price of the month, most traded price of the week. This happens to be the most traded price of yesterday, and today, Bitcoin's almost at 100 grand again. Coinbase, loving it. It's up 3% right now. So I'm hoping, because it pulled back a couple times now. So this is going to be a demand zone now, right in here. Because you look how much you consolidated here, and then boom, that's an imbalance, right? But look where we stopped. No surprise, most traded price of the month. Okay. Now, if you notice, if you notice, the most traded price of the week is up here. Okay. Now I want to show you something. So it's very important. The double distribution in the monthly profile. So you have a distribution here and a distribution here. If we stay around here today, then this most traded price of the week will come down to here. Then you'll get ultimate balance. Okay. Then that just means you're setting up for a big move. Okay. Because the volume is building out here. The 24-hour actually moved down here, but not the real-time trading hours. If we do stay around here, this will be ultimate balance. And the most traded price of the week, the month, and the previous day of yesterday will all have the most prices. That will be the fairest price of the last month. All right. Now, if we take out this level and we find acceptance like this, that will prepare us to go higher and possibly go back to that 60.95 level. Okay, now this is a pretty big supply zone to get through, but it only takes a catalyst to cut through something like that, like CPI. Okay. Now, before we get into analysis, because I just want to go back to watch lists. Let's look at the landscape now. Bitcoin is up 2.55% now, almost at 100K, right? Let's look at the Russell. The Russell's up 0.70. The Nasdaq's up 0.49. Dollar stayed kind of the same. Gold's kind of the same. ES is up 0.32 now. Dow is up now. 10-year yield was just up. I forget what it was at, but it's almost flat. 30-year bonds were being sold down 0.4. They're only down 0.16. So that's changed. And look at the VIX. Just got crushed. It's down to 13.87. And we're continuing to move past the big important level of 60 63. Now, what else can we look at, right? This is everything on my chart is something that always gets reactions and it tells me information. Okay, so this is week to date VWAP. This is this week's anchored VWAP. It's red because sellers are in control. If it goes past this, it's going to turn green, and it's going to mean all sellers from this week are going to be underwater. Okay, this is the month to date VWAP, 60.75. Right now, sellers are in control of December, right? Well, what if we go past 60.75? Well, all sellers, the average seller will be underwater. Now, I don't know what's going to happen from here. What I do know is this level is important, and you need to have the market find acceptance above this level. Okay? The job of the market in this December is to trap sellers, and that's what it did. Okay? Now we're pushing even higher. So that's the job of this market. This move down yesterday was not a weak market. It was just tech was weak, which does move markets, okay? But the rest of the market really wasn't weak. Then we bounced, right? And then we lollygagged. And then boom, right? Now we could fall apart. I don't know. But this is bullish structure. You're holding above this level. Now it's got single prints here. You just need to find acceptance, right? All right, hopefully that makes sense to everyone. Okay, now let's do the regular introductions that we normally do. Market profile and volume profile, and that's where we're at. Okay, now we're going to collapse this, boom, into a market profile. That's all it is, folks. 30-minute bars. A period, B period, C period. That's all it is. It looks crazy. That's all it is. All right. So you can see how much time was spent here at this level of 60.50, and then wham, right? So we have to set a demand zone now. Okay. Why don't we do that together while we're here? We could do that together. All right. Let's do that together. Just large orders hitting the tape right now in my ear. Let's go to here. Large orders hitting the tape. Woof. 100 lot orders. 60-70. Aggressive buyers. Like this is just how the market works, right? Oh my God, we're selling. And then it just traps sellers. It's just how the market works. All right. So now let's look at this. This is probably going to be a 12-hour demand zone. Let's check that out. Might not be, but I think it probably will be. This is 12-hour time zone. Yep. All right. So very simply, we have a 12-hour demand zone right here. And that's your 12-hour demand zone. And then for me, I like to set an alert. Right? So I just call it 12-hour demand. So that I know that's more of a powerful demand zone. And that would be number 11 demand zone. And then I set a timer, a repeatable timer, so it reminds me. And I have a template here that I like to load. That's a demand ES. That's a 12-hour demand zone now. Very powerful. So we go back to the hourly chart. Okay. And you know, in candlesticks, you can see here that 60, 63 level, that large volume node here, high volume node. You just need to find acceptance over it. Now, if we come back through it, yeah, right? You don't want to come back through it, but we have to see. Right now, that's what's going on. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll also do the NASDAQ, right? So we're probably going to have a 12-hour demand zone here, so might as well do it right in front of you. And you can see in the NASDAQ, we're also cutting through the most trade. We're right at the most traded price of the month. That's why I'm hoping people really see this and see the power of those levels. Okay. Here's the most traded price of the month and the week. We're in actually ultimate balance in the NASDAQ right here at 215. Okay. Right here. That's where the price is right now. And then we have this 12-hour demand right there. So right here, so we do this, do that, and same thing. I set my alert. 12-hour demand. We are at demand zone number 13 here. Set the alert to come up, and I give my template, demand NQ. That's it. Go back to the hourly chart because that's what I like to keep up on this. Okay. And you can clearly see here the most traded price right here. That's where we're at, right? And that's where both indices are. Okay. Right at their most traded price, but we're in ultimate balance in the NASDAQ. So this level is your bear bull line, right? That level, to be exact, is 21508. That is your bull bear line in the sand. Write it down. It's very important. And then we zoom out here. Look, most traded price of the month. ES, most traded price of the month. That's how it works. Okay. Let's go back now to, and we'll do some scenarios here. Okay. Now we got our demand zone there. You can see it on my chart. We're in a big supply zone right now. So, um, like I said, this analysis right now, we'll get right into it, okay? So let's look at this together and do some scenarios. Well, first, we'll do some levels. Well, we'll do scenarios. We'll get right into it. Okay. So, I just chewed your ear off about the most traded price, right? 60.63. This is where you want to find support. You want the market to find acceptance over this level. Right now it is. You see that little week to date VWAP is a little green at the end? Well, everybody this week is going to be underwater if we keep going above that, right? So, this is what you want to see. Defend it now. These are single prints now, okay? And what I'd like to see today, all right, now let's look at some other levels here, just to be some clarity here. 60.75 to 60.72, that area, this area, right? The end of that supply zone. Okay, it's kind of a weak high, right? So it's kind of a level you want to bust if you're a bull, right? So what I would like to see is a push up, maybe even a pullback into this level, higher lows. Then I want to go long and I want to bust that. You got 60.75 is your anchor V up for the month, and then we get into these single prints and possibly go back to 60.95. Okay, 60.95. Now, we do have that big demand zone down here. Okay, big demand zone. Okay, depends on how weak the market is. Because if we did lose this, that would not be good. However, if we come in here and the market isn't weak, really has to be parity. Like, all right, market's not that weak, but we're just going to flip down here. I really have to see tech leading or something for me to really want to go long here. But if it did, we could bounce, and this could cause this, and then we could move up a little bit. Okay, we do have a big demand zone here, what we popped out of. But remember, when we're under this level, the longs for me is like, I don't know how crazy I am about them. Okay, let's go to the bear side. Okay, remember, bull bear line in the sand, 60.63. Okay, 60.63. So now we just moved over and we have single prints. That's what all this is, single prints, right? Anytime you find support in single prints, that's bullish. So, all right. So this area again, end of this supply zone. So it's always inversed, right? When I'm doing my bear scenario. So if you're a bear, okay, what could be a bear trap? Well, we can come up here, hit month-to-date VWAP, reject, come back in here, and then you could take some off at that 60.63. Okay, now this is bearish, so I have to go with the bear. Now, if you break below this and start holding and holding and holding, you got that 12-hour demand you got to get through. But if you got through this price, 60.50, the most traded price of the overnight, we could test yesterday's lows. That's 60. What is that? 60.39.75. Now there's single prints. Okay, below this, very poor structure below this. That could cause a cascading effect. Okay, to go lower. That could get pretty nasty. Okay. I don't think that's probable, but anything is. Okay, so that's the only thing I'm really going to look at. Um, so it could also look something like this. You just go down, hold, 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 hold. But like I said, this demand, oof, you have to push through that 60.50 to get in the lower. Okay, this is a pretty powerful demand zone. Okay, and we're starting to push higher. So we'll have to see. And this is chewing up this big supply zone here. All right. Now that's because the news catalyst can do whatever it wants. All right. So let's look at the Nasdaq together. And what do you know? Here's that ultimate balance level that I talked about right there at 21509, 21510, whatever you right in that area. Okay. We got supply zone here. I'm sorry, not supply zone. We got the big level. It's a big, big, big level, right? So all that means is that's the fairest price to do business in the Nasdaq, right? We went all the way down to 21252, 21352. Now look, we're all back at 215, right? So all that selling, whoever was short, what do they? If you were short yesterday and you were like, I'm holding this, we can go lower. Well, you're gonna get up and be like, oh boy, that's not good, right? That is not emotionally good for your short. Okay, let's look at some structure here. Okay, let's look at some structure. All right, remember we got our big level, 21509 about ultimate balance. It's your bull bear line. Okay, for the Nasdaq, very very important level. All right, so what nuances do we have here? I'm just scanning. You got your 12-hour demand. Okay, now check this out. Okay, I talked about the month-to-day VWAP, right? Sellers were in control of the ES. They are not in control of the Nasdaq. See, the Nasdaq's month-to-day VWAP is green. That means the average buyer in this month is making money. Now we're above the week-to-date VWAP. It's green. So sellers for the week and for the month are in control. They lost month-to-date VWAP yesterday. Now they're back above it. Okay, and that's indisputable. It's the average weighted price of buyers from the month are in the money. Okay, now all sellers from the beginning of this week are now starting to be under order. Okay, where this key level, right? You have a 12-hour demand here that lines up with the month-to-date VWAP and the overnight most traded price. Okay, so we got single prints here. You just want them to be supportive. Now, obviously, if we get weak and you start ripping, that thin volume can get crushed. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Okay, now yesterday, you see we opened and where did we hit? We hit this supply, which is a 4-hour supply right here, and it rejected it. And then what did we do? We came to this level and rejected that. That's why you push down. Okay, that's the reason why that happened. All right, yes, Nvidia, but that's the reason why it happened. Okay, so um, let's do some scenarios. Okay, Now I have to say one caveat, I think that's how you say it, to this market, right? One caveat to this market. It's been very tricky to trade, not to read, to trade. Okay, I'm reading it perfectly. It's just that there's so many disconnects in this market. Now I can show you my internals, right? Usually you want the markets working together. That's how I like to see the markets, right? I'm going to show you my internals. Let me pull it up. I like to see markets work together. All right. So this white line is the equal weight. That just means that it's basically treating every sector as if it's the same weighting, but it's not. So yesterday, you can see initially equal weight was weaker. Then it's flipped. Equal weight was stronger and the market cap weight was weaker. That's what Nvidia came in, the weakness in Microsoft came in, right? And then it flipped to negative towards the end of the day, which makes sense because then you got some selling, right, towards the end of the day. Now, if I zoom out, that's been the theme every day. Look, equal weight disconnected, equal weight disconnected. This day, maybe, let's see here. Nope. So disconnection, disconnection, and then disconnection. So they're not working together. Now look at the top sectors here. Infotech down 1.05 from the open. Financials down 0.11, slightly down. Healthcare down. Consumer discretionary up. Communications up. Mixed market, which makes price action weird. It makes it look like we can go higher, but then we fall apart. That is why, right? And even if you look at the advanced decline, that's not that bearish. Nasdaq exchange not that bearish. Selling volume, selling ratio was a 1.94 in the NYSE. But this is at the end of the day. In the beginning, it was so neutral, and you could see right here, it wasn't weak for a while. It was just like that's why the market couldn't fall farther. But once that QQQ pushed past that 521, the gamma flip point, that's when market makers had to short with the market. Okay. All right, back to this. Let's do some scenarios here. Hopefully, I'm making sense here. Because when I just to reiterate, once markets move together, you get more smoother price action. You get smoother price action, not this fighting, right? All right. So let's talk about it now. Look, we're hanging out at this level, which is expected. All right. So what do we want to see? Number one, this level is important, right? This box. If you have single prints. So what I want to see is the market to just hold it, hold it, hold it. And then we can test yesterday's highs. You got supply here still, but we can look at the highs. Okay. In this double distribution, you got a distribution up here, and then you're going to work yourself into this demand and possibly go up to last week's highs. Right? There's last month's highs, which kind of acted as support. We did tiny fill a gap here in the NASDAQ, but then we got bought up, right? So this is one that I'm got to look at. Now, here's the little difference in the NASDAQ, right? Yes, this is ultimate balance, and we can correct. And we are like 75% net long, okay? If we do correct, and you come into this 12-hour demand zone, you have month-to-day VWAP here, right? If the market is not that weak, I want to see what we do in here. And if we can do this and hold, we can move up. Like I said, I don't love losing this. But if the NASDAQ is not weak, that might be a trade. I'd really prefer to get something like this in a pullback, hold here to go higher. That's what I would prefer. Okay. Now, if we did come all the way down here, this is a key level here, down at this last month's highs. That's why we bounced yesterday. I mean, we do have a gap here that could get filled. So I'm not saying I'm super against it. It just matters who is the weakest. If tech is not the weakest when we come there, I might take a stab at this to go back here. Okay. Bear side. So bear side. Here's our important level. Remember, that's a bull bear line in the sand. 210509. Okay. That's ultimate balance. Big moves happen from ultimate balance. Okay, so if you're a bear, you want this to not find acceptance above here. Okay, you do have supply up in here, but just like the other way, if I'm all the way above that level, am I going on? How great of a short is it here? I don't know. Not the best, right? So what I would like to see is something like maybe a push above this level and then a rejection through it, hold, hold, hold. You would clean these single prints, and then you really have to see what we did in this 12-hour demand. Now, 21432 is like the most traded price of the net overnight. If you push through that, because you know longs were there, you're going to probably try to test this yesterday's lows and try to fill this gap. All right, that gap fill is 21313. Okay, now if you lose that, you got a pocket of volume here that's thin right there, and you can go down all the way there. Okay, that would be a price of two. Let's see, 21232. Okay, now remember that's not out of the realm because we're in ultimate balance. Big moves happen, so we're gonna do a big move this way or a big move this way. Now, what else can happen? Okay, is we stay in balance. So we can come up here, sell, go down here, get bought, and you just revolve around the mean until we break out. Okay, that's gonna do it for to me. That's gonna do it for me today. Hope everybody enjoyed that analysis. Okay, and if you did enjoy it, please smash the like button for me. All right, smash that like button for me. Trying to build this thing, trying to build this channel. Please subscribe, set an alert. We're at 205. We're at 205, or I'm at 205. Trying to make it 300. All right, trying to build an army here. My levels always get reactions. They wouldn't be on my chart if they didn't. It's really something. These levels, okay? And they're simple. Like I don't have to do much. They chart themselves. So we have our plan today. All right. And you can join me every day. Have a cup of coffee, tea, water, whatever, in your car, in the shower, and you get the recap from me, right? You get the story of what's really going on in the markets, right? Not just price action, because if I just watched price action yesterday, I'd be like, oh my God, we're going down. Forget Santa Claus, right? But you got to look at structure to keep you sane in this game, okay? To keep you sane. All right. So with that being said, we got a plan. We got big levels to work with in the ES. That's our 6063, and we got our 21509 in the Nasdaq. Those are your lines in the sand for both of those indices, okay? So everybody have a green day. No trades a trade. Be patient. And hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.